Good morning, everybody. How's everyone doing on this snowy Friday? We got a lot of snow again last night. Another couple inches anyway. I'm just gonna get myself all going here so I can see all the comments as you guys join me. It's a nice day. Hope everyone's doing well. It's 11 a.m. and it's lighter later, which I love. I don't like going out at night to drive. Good morning, Eileen. So yeah, it's kind of fun that it's staying lighter later. Lighter later. That's a new word for today. Lighter later. Good morning, Dana. Some people are starting to come in. So I just want to talk about a few things today. Hi, Karen. How are you? I have a lot of people. Actually, let me start this way. When I first started the business, I wanted it to be only a brick and mortar store because I wanted people who didn't have experience to be able to walk in and pick my brain with the knowledge that I have about things. Good morning, Helen. And to be able to help them. So I've always kind of based the store, which is why brick and mortars are so important. Anybody can buy online, anyone can sell online, but are you gonna get that hands-on like you do here? And I take pride in that at Paper Lane. Because if you buy, good morning Cindy, good morning Trish, good morning Heather. Oh no, oh poor Heather. Hi Jeannie. I hope that gets fixed soon. I think your neighbors are probably going to be excited to have it fixed. So basically, if you walk into my store and you buy a tool or a product and you don't know how to use it, you don't leave here until I've shown you how to use it and also probably have made you do it. Because I want to be for sure that you understand what I said, what I did, and that you go home and you're not sitting there with a tool thinking, what do I do with this? Hi, Kathy. And so I've always wanted to be helpful. My nature is to help people to do with what I have. Being military, we moved around a lot, didn't know a lot of the places. Good morning, Susan. Didn't know a lot of where I was and didn't have a lot of friends everywhere. And so I crafted alone a lot and I tried to make what I had work. And so whenever someone that comes in that is a newbie, I always want to make sure they don't feel like they have to go and spend $1 million to get started in the craft. And I know a few of you, good morning Joanne, a few of you will know that I've said to you, you don't really need that right now. You will, but let's get started to begin with. Don't jump off the deep end yet. Let's get into the shallow. Let's do some, doggy paddles and figure it out. So that's kind of where I've always been. And embossing powder is one of my favorite things. Good morning, Brenda. Good morning, Beth. I love embossing, embossing powder. So that's what we're gonna talk about today. We're gonna talk embossing powder and how I personally do it, and could be right or wrong, I don't know, but I'm just gonna tell you what I know. And that's what we're gonna do. And I'm gonna show you how to do something very pretty like this that is ink resist on heat embossed embossing. Okay, so and then I'm going to turn this into a card, and as per normal with our demos, for every person that leaves me a comment during this live demo, you're going to get entered in for a draw. And just to clarify so everyone understands, when I do these draws, Gary and I sit after supper and it's kind of funny. He goes on his iPad, I go on my iPad. He goes into Facebook for me. I have a downloaded app that is random name picker. And so I have to type everybody's name in and then I hit a button and this big thing goes and then it tells me who the winner was. So just so you guys know, that's how we do it. And we kind of have a chuckle with it because Gary sometimes can't say everyone's name, or he'll tell me your first name and then I already know who you are because you might be my only one. So it's kind of funny, but that's how I do my draws, with a random picker. It's an app that I downloaded. So I'm going to turn this into a card with a really pretty set of roses, and we're going to do some fun stuff after. Okay, so Thanks, Trish. Good morning, Suzanne. So now, and hi, Colleen. So now that everyone's here, I'm just going to give you a quick show of the new Heartfelt Creations released for February. Shh. Okay. And then I'm also going to show you my Folio 3 album that I just completed 5 minutes ago. Absolutely freaking love it. It turned out so nice. So I'm going to show you that. Hi, Donna. Thank you. Natalie, yes, you can. Yes, you can. I'm going to teach you. Hi, Jackie. Hi, Trish. Yes. All right. So we're going to pan down. We're going to look at the new collection, and then we're going to go on to the folio, and then I'm going to talk embossing powder. Okay. So we ready? Everyone here? So this is the new Delightful Daffodil. So this is a collection for February. Good morning, Kim. So this one here is the daffodil and the butterfly. So there's a stamp and die, and it's quite a large. This little daffodil is 4 inches high, and this piece here is also 4 inches. So this is a substantial background piece. Okay, I'll open out the back. I just got it yesterday, so you can actually see the size of them, because sometimes measurements aren't the same. Okay, so this is the new one. Now, unfortunately, due to the lockdown, we will not be doing our release party for February, which I kind of figure you guys understand. The next one is Daffodil and Hyacinth, one of my favorite flowers. This also has a stamp and die. Okay, nice big piece. This one's actually 5 inches. So it's a fair piece. There is no dimensional flower in this collection this month. They're flat, if you know what I mean. So you would be able to shape them, still make them movable, but they're not like say one of these roses where we're gonna layer them. That's not to say I might not figure out how to do it. And then lastly, this is the daffodil spray. Okay, so you get the stamp and die. Again, they're 4 inches wide. So new, I still have my little sticker on it. So this is a substantial piece. That's my whole hand almost. So that is going to look absolutely stunning on a card. Okay, and then you add all your flowers and you do you on it. It's just going to be beautiful. And then I'm going to give you a quick little look inside the book of paper. Oops. Oh, bear with me for a sec. Technical issue. Fix it. I got my technical guy here to help me. He's on an early lunch break. So this is the Delightful Daffodil collection. Paper pad, very spring colors. Okay, you can see all this. So lots of really pretty light colors. The daffodils are stunning. Love, love, love the colors. This great big gate. Now this is going to go with one of the new gatefold dies. Look at how beautiful this paper is. The B-sides are just as nice. Now, for some of you that don't know, Heartfelt Creations usually has 2 to 4, might even be more in here, sheets of paper that are already colored for you. And then you're just going to lay the die down on top of it, which is this one. So you can pretend that you were coloring for hours and that you are a professional by just putting your die, I'm looking at it upside down, sorry, putting your die on top of this piece, running this through your machine, whether it be Big Shot, Vagabond, Gemini, whichever machine you have, Cuttlebug, and it will go through here. Hi, Cindy, how are you? Okay, so then that's already all colored for you. All you have to do is now put it down on a card. So they always have lots of pages with these. Look at these beautiful florals. So this large spray, you just lay the die down and the die will cut that out. As well as the big daffodil and some of the pretty hyacinths. Isn't it stunning? So I'm all over these colors, totally love them. I'm not a yellow girl, so I probably wouldn't use as much of the yellow. Now mind you, in here I don't have a choice. But absolutely beautiful collection. So this is available for what we call the pre-order. I sent out the email earlier this week. So if you want to purchase the I Want It All, so in the I Want It All, you're going to get the paper, you're going to get all the stamps and dies that I just showed you. Okay? So now we're going to go on to this beautiful folio. So I've got all my product here to show you everything that I did. So when you buy the folio, it looks like this. Okay? Now inside, you're going to get all the instructions that are needed to create this folio. They even include the magnets. My magnets are stuck. Okay? So they literally walk you from step 1 to the finished product. All you have to do is read it and follow the directions. All of the pieces have been scored for you. They're all cut to measure. All you have to do is fold on the score lines and assemble. It's that easy. I had somebody on our creative space say to me yesterday, or maybe on our regular Facebook page, that they would love to make one of these. And I said, it is so easy. And this is why it's so easy. It's all been done for you. Photoplay has done everything. All you have to do is follow the steps. They tell you where to put adhesive. They show you your score lines. It's easy peasy. Okay? So you're just going to pass this off. All right. So for this collection, I fell in love with the floral shop paper from Heartfelt Creations. And so that's what I used because I had a lot left over from our last release party for this collection. And I thought, well, I'm going to use it. So this is the folio. And I just tied some burgundy ribbon on the side. Okay. So the products that I used to make this, I used the 6x6 round window frame for this centerpiece here. That is this piece. Okay, so I just took it out. You can see there's many layers in here. So I took the second largest, or the second smallest, and the smallest, and it created this little doily on the back. And I also used the small wild rose stamp and die. So this one, this is the largest flower right here in the small set. Okay, so that's this one. I mostly used these ones because I like the tinier flowers. I find that they show better. I find when they're too big, I'm not a fan. Now, I did not use the large wild rose flower, but I did for the stamp, for the die, or sorry, for the leaf. The die stamp for the leaf and the stamp is in the large wild rose. Not sure why that happened, because if you don't want to buy this, you don't have a leaf. Just saying. Okay. So inside, I will show you the other pieces inside. I use this large sweetheart border, and it's a fair size. I just used the filigree part of it, not the background. I also used the small little corner piece. Can they see that? Mm-hmm. Nice and clear right here. Come in a little bit more. Okay, so this is a beautiful die. I use this so much that it won't even stay inside the packaging properly. Okay, this goes with that folio. Now, someone asked me yesterday about what colors I used for my flowers. I stamped and colored the flowers, the small wild rose, in Ranger Archival Seafarer. Okay, absolutely my new favorite color. I love blue and green together, and I comboed it with the Archival Ink Vivid Chartreuse. And I also used the Vivid Chartreuse on the leaf for my highlights. I stamped the leaves in Archival Olive. Then I did the centers with Vivid Chartreuse. I did add a little bit of the Seafarer just to give a little shadow. I don't want it to be really dark. I just wanted it to be a little shadow. And then I colored the rest of the leaves with the leaf green. So once I had got all that done, I ran it through the mold. The mold did all the work for me, and then I just stacked them on top of each other. Now, I used Dress My Craft threaded stamens, and I used them in the blue and the green. I did 4 in each, I believe. And I just put them in, mixed them up together, made myself a nice little cluster. Okay, then I tied a piece of wire around here and I pulled it into my flowers. And that's how you get all of this these beautiful long stems and how full they look. Once all that was done, I then put them together and I sprinkled Rajni's Crystal Clear, let them dry. And in the meantime, I took a few more of these and I just used the Distress Crackle paint glue that I use, and I just put it all over the tips, and then I also sugared them. So I'm not sure if you can see in here. Okay, so you can see the little sugared pieces. I like to add these just as little extra fillers so that it doesn't look like there's just this big, like this one here. I did this on purpose and I am going to fill it in. Do you see how empty that leaf looks? Now imagine if there was a couple of these just coming out of it. Okay, and I'm gonna sugar some up and I'm gonna put some in there, but I just wanted to show you, you can leave it like this, and if you're that person, that's fine. For me, I like to have a little bit more here. So I will go back, and I always do them in 3s because 3 is my thing. So I'll have a couple more of these stamens coming off onto that leaf, just because I personally feel it's a little bare, but that's just me. Okay, so this is just twine, and all I did here is I just wound it around my index finger, and then I tied a knot in the middle. I left it all loose, you know, willy-nilly. I like the look of it kind of being a little wild. And then I used Wink Stella on my leaves just to give a little bit of shine. Okay, so now we're gonna open. So I'm not sure if this is better to have it flat. Everyone can see everything okay? Good morning, Lynn, how are you? I hope your headache is gone. Sorry, I had to have a sip of coffee. So I'm really excited about this album because it is just so pretty and the paper is beautiful. It's just stunning. So all I did for the ribbon was I just took 2 different kinds of ribbon and I just laid them flat, brought them up through the center, and they do move because I didn't secure them, because I was thinking at some point I might want to put a little tag or I don't know, something on here, and that would help to hold that and stop it from shifting. Good morning, Melissa. Good morning, Suzanne. Thank you, Karen. Better today, awesome. All right, so I also wanted to point out on these little flaps that you're gonna have inside your folio, make sure that you dress the top of them, okay? You never dry just the top of your hair. You always do the back as well, right? So let's finish it all, because that is what takes an album from being nothing, like something that's really pretty, to something that is completely finished and ready for the runway, okay? So this is gonna open down, and so I put a nice little journaling strip in here. Always dress between your flaps, okay? Otherwise it's just a big white piece there and you have a lot of this stuff left over at the end. I believe for here I might have done 3/8 to 1/4 of an inch in here, but you can measure it. This here is a heartfelt die. This is a sweetheart border. I inked everything with the Seafarer blue just to help tie in. And I'm gonna have to try to wiggle and get this in screen, so bear with me, okay? Thank you, Liz, I appreciate that. So once I had how I work is once I have all of my main papers done, all my leftovers I save And that's where I'm gonna make my flips and my flaps. I don't wanna do that ahead of time in case I run out of paper. It's a little easier for me because I can just go grab some paper off the shelf, not so much for you guys at home. So my cardstock, I used Typhoon, Basil Typhoon. For those of you that have done classes with me, you know this is my favorite blue. It's like a denim blue, okay? So again, I dressed in here. Now there's a magnet in here. So there's a magnet here, and there's a magnet on the flap, and you can hear it close. Okay, and it's quite strong if you can see me like trying to lift it. So I'll just give you a quick little walkthrough. I did some photo mats. I left some room in case I wanted to do a little tag. There's not really room for a flower in here, but there might be something small that I might want to add. So I leave this possibility for when I'm ready to dress it, complete it. This here is a heartfelt die, and it's just, I have secured the photo mat, but I just kind of left it where now I can get a photo in there. And then I love flips and flaps. So there's a nice little flip here. So you can put a nice big photo, or you could do, you know, a couple and then put one up here. I will always dress this when I'm finished. This one was just a beautiful piece, and I thought, what a nice bookmark. And then I had another little piece that was left, and I dressed the top of the back of this was showing here, and the writing was upside down, and it was driving me nuts. Now I did not put a magnet there because you don't need one. Nice little place for photo mat. Now this one here, I'm gonna confess, my paper was too short by, I think it was about right here, and I could not live with that white showing. So I took a border strip, I only glued down 3 sides. Now I have created a tuck spot. Okay, so I could put a nice big photo in the back if I wanted, once it was cut down to size. Put a photo in there, and then I can still use it as a tuck spot and put some little mementos and such inside, okay? So this is how I like to use all of my paper. I'm very frugal. I like to use every last bit, because look at the pretty that you can do. And then this was just too pretty to cover. So I'm not sure what's gonna happen here, whether there will be a small mat, it might be a journaling space, I might put a tag there, I haven't decided. And then it all folds down and is held together with the magnet. Now this side is a little different. I don't wanna say I don't like it, because I do. I'm just not sure. So I'm gonna be honest. So there's my beautiful little piece here, and I wanted to put a sentiment here. But because I don't know who or what this album is going to be, I didn't put a sentiment yet, whether I'm gifting it, whether it's I don't know, whatever. And then I'll put a nice sentiment here. That's why there's this big block, okay? So this opens out, excuse me. This here is actually one sheet of paper, and this is part of the piece. And then I thought maybe a journaling strip up here or another sentiment. This is just so beautiful. I can't cover this. It's just stunning. So again, we'll see what the album's for, who it's for. There might be a photo, might be another flip. I'm not sure. And then this opens out. So I created a little belly band. So you can put photos in. If you didn't want that, you could just put photo mats. Again, this is just me. This is me doing what I do. This is a sweetheart border. Again, my paper was too short. This is a 6-inch piece, and I needed 8 1/8, I think. So what I did was I put 2 little pieces down on each side, and then I cut the sweetheart border die in the pattern paper to match and put it over there, and you would never know. If I didn't tell you, you wouldn't know. And then this one opens out again. So here we have another little tuck spot. Put some photos, put some memorabilia. This here is a heartfelt die from their pocket set. So this just slides in, gives more space for more tags, more photos. Yes, they are. I agree. Heartfelt has some beautiful graphic designers on their team that do a lot of this. Do you want to come down just a little bit, in just a bit? At least the way that it's showing on mine. Just zoom in a little bit. I just want them to be able to see all the detail. This pocket is just a spare piece of paper that I had left over. This little divot was created by my envelope punch board, and it just gives a little bit of interest. And again, I love this paper, so I'm going to use every bit of it. So a nice little photo mat, and then a pretty piece of paper. And that page is done. And this little sentiment, I honestly can't even tell you what collection it's from, but it fit the colors, and so I used it. And then on this side, I created a flap. I did another little belly band, and I fussy cut a little vase and a little photo mat that can go under, or you can leave it empty. This opens out, and I'm going to put another piece of cardstock here for another photo mat, okay? And then in this side, there's 2 photo mats on the inside. Then on this side, so that you have like 1, 2, 3 pages per side. So there's 6 of these pages in total. So again, I used pretty paper, was running out of it, so I created a pocket to help cover up where I was short. Nice little tuck spot. Sorry for the phone ringing, we're just going to let it ring. Okay, so you can put some photos in there, you can put a tag in there. This was just a little strip I had left that I loved. Again, the envelope punch board. And then this opens out, and I created a little flap at the top, little photo mat, and another little corner from a heartfelt die. And then this is another pretty piece of paper. I think this is from the Wild Rose collection. And it folds down to have 2 nice photo mats. And I'm okay with the green showing because I have a lot of green on either side, so I'm okay with it. And then this opens out. This piece was beautiful. I cut it wrong to begin with, and then I was upset because I loved it. So then I thought, well, I'm just going to make a little folder, file folder area, so we can put some more photos in there. And then I don't cover up all this pretty. Down here, again, I love pockets and flips and flaps and things that move. So there's another little photo mat with another piece of pretty paper. Just a way to dress things up. I was going to leave this as a belly band, but I thought I was getting carried away, so I just glued it all down. Okay, and then lastly, we have a nice big area in here, this nice little flap, and then I put a little flap on this side, just as a little decorative piece. You could also do something like that if you wanted. It's totally up to you how you want to do it, okay? So I just wanted to be able to show this folio. So I'm not sure when you put it together whether they're supposed to fold 1 for 1. I'm not sure how this goes. I find if you do it 1 for 1, it's very rounded and it doesn't fold well. So I'm not sure if I didn't do it right or if it didn't get done right. I'm not sure. But this is my folio. It is beautiful. Thank you. Hi, Cindy. Do you know what, Cindy? Thank you for that, and thanks for noticing. But it's the little pieces of attention, of detail, that take an album from being beautiful to being spectacular. And when you gift this to someone, they're gonna, everywhere that they look, they're gonna notice that I did everything, right? So all my edges are inked. My little tops are done. I've got beautiful ribbon hanging off. Like, and my flowers and a little sentiment. It's just attention to detail. Makes it so much better. So this is the Folio 3.
Okay.
Thank you. Folio 3, I do have lots in stock, so if you're looking for one of these, now you know what it looks like. I've done the Folio 2, which was the farm one that I did for my sister. I already showed that last fall. This is the Folio 3. Okay. So now I want to talk about embossing. Okay. How many people out there actually emboss? Heat emboss with a heat tool. Whether it be this kind or whether it would be the Heat It tool from Tim, from Ranger. When I first saw how this was done, I was absolutely mesmerized and I used it straight for a long time. I think that it takes, again, it's this thing of you can make a beautiful wedding card and you can do a million things to it and it looks spectacular. The minute you put heat embossing on it, it has now become a professional card. Good, I'm glad. There's a lot of you. I'm glad. I love heat embossing. So my problem was when I first started, y'all know my story. I got into this kicking and screaming, didn't want to invest money. Everything I had was from the dollar store. Hi, Joanne. It really does. Thank you. Hi, Karen. Yeah, so you can have a million embossing colors, okay? But when I first started, I didn't want to get into it really heavy, so I didn't want to have to buy all of the different colors. And I thought, well, how can I do this that I don't have to have all of these sat around? And I investigated it. And I found that they make embossing powder in clear. And it totally changed my life. So almost every company, whether it's Hero Art, Stampendous, Wow, it doesn't matter. They all make these, okay? So I'm going to show you why and tell you why I personally love them and think that the clear is the way to go. Now, I don't want you to get rid of all your other colors. I don't want you to do anything like that. This is Leanne talking about embossing my way and how I do it. So I always take my clear embossing powder, put it in a bigger jar, because I'll usually buy 3 or 4 and put them into one jar. So I have it labeled. I know it's not white. I know it's not the opaque white. I know it's white. Karen and Lynn are the queens of embossing. Really? I did not know that. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to hand this off. All right. So when I first started crafting, I wanted to have a lot of inks because, well, they're pretty and I want them, okay? So I had a lot of inks and not a lot of embossing powder. So how do I fix that? Well, I will take my embossing and I will take any one of these colors and I can change it to be that color of ink. What? Yep. This clear embossing powder will become peacock feathers. It will become aged mahogany. It will become peeled paint or picked raspberry. Any color of ink that you have, it will become. So now you don't only just have 5 or 6 jars of embossing powder when you own 200 inks. Now you have 200 embossing powders. Make sense? Okay. The other thing about clear, and I'm going to show you how to do this, okay? I'm just talking now, but I am going to show you, show you what I mean. So the other thing that you can do is you can actually create a watermark, okay? So any color of cardstock that you have, if you just use your Versamark and your clear embossing powder and a stamp, and you stamp this on to any color, the darker the color, the better it is. And then you heat set it. It now becomes a watermark. And the reason it looks different is because it actually dries a shade or two darker because the cardstock that's underneath has been magnified. And because it's glossy, it makes it look deeper and richer. So you can do this on any color cardstock. Okay, so that's done in purple. This one is done on cream. Hopefully you can see it. I don't know if you need to come in a little more. Yeah. Will it work with oxides as well? I believe it will, as long as you're using your Versamark, because the Versamark is what's helping to keep your ink wet enough so that you have time to put the powder on and then you heat set it. So I would try it, Natalie, and see, and I'll try as well. And let's figure this out, because I would think it would. It's still a dye-based ink. It's just got pigment in it. And then you can also do it on white. So on white, it's a little harder to see. I didn't want to use a lot of white today because it's really difficult to see on here. Yes, you can. Everyone can do this. My great, my great niece Victoria can do this. I just won't let her near the heat gun. The other thing, before stamping platforms came out, I could never get a good stamp, ever. I could never get my black deep enough. I could never get it where it was so vibrant, even with StazOn, even with archival. I never seem to get it as dark as I want it to be. So I got thinking one day, long time ago, what if I put some clear embossing powder on top of it and stamp it that way. And then I did, and look at how beautiful and crisp and clear this is. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to do this as well. So this is all about embossing, whether you know how to do it, whether you do it all the time, whether you want to get into it. A couple of you on here are saying that I can't do it. To save my life, I can't do it. Yeah, you can. You can. There's just some basic little tools. So I used the Forever Love background to create this large background. Okay, and I'm not going to color it because I'm not a colorist. But what I'm going to show you how to do is what I did on here that is going to be the card that we're going to do. Because this creates an ink resist. Because I've already embossed this, when I go to put color on here, it's going to resist where it was embossed. So it's never going to get covered. Okay? Now I did the big urn because I wanted people to see that you can also do something like this, and you can do a lot of coloring, and it's going to ink resist all of this, and this is done on walnut cream color. And I die cut it as well. And then this, I'm going to show you how we're going to stamp this after in different colors and how we're going to go about doing that. The other thing, you can actually, for my heartfelt people, you can take flowers, you can heat emboss them, and then you can color them, and they will ink resist. And I'm going to give you a couple demos on those. Okay? This was an ATC card that I did for a Christmas exchange a few years ago. This was done on cream cardstock, and I used a Christmas stamp. I heat embossed the clear, and now that cream cardstock is what you see. That is clear embossing powder. I did the same on the deer, and it made a cute little card. Okay, a little tag. So this was the, I only have this out here just to show you. This is the stamp that I'm going to use down the road. I did have one cut, but I don't have it now. This is also heartfelt. And this is their Snowy Pines stamp and die. And I just wanted to show you how this will actually change color. Okay, so let me get, and it's gonna look gaudy because I want to show you how this does. Like, you would never put probably these two colors together, and that's okay. All right, so let's go in with some of the aged mahogany. So once it's dry, I'm just going to use my finger dauber, and if you want it, can you come in a little closer so they can see? Okay, so this has already been heat embossed. Now I'm just going to start a little bit off of my mat, and I'm going to come in, and everywhere that I put the color, you're going to see the embossing has resisted the color. Okay, so now I can go in with peeled paint. I can start in here, and I can start blending. Okay, and let's go in with a little bit more of the picked raspberry. Again, you're going to do colors that coordinate to what you're doing. I was just doing these colors so that it's very visible for TV here. Okay, doesn't matter the colors. Just ink it up, rub it on. It's going to resist all the places where the heat embossing was. Okay, so it's so cool to do. It's something fast, it's fun. And it's just another way to go in and do something else to a project, to a card. Now you can go in with these, my little pine cones. So if you want, you could do all of these in all different colors, and you can see how it resists. I think it might be better on there. That it resists all of our embossing. So it's just super fun, a fun way to make something different. I want to use pink. So for our flowers, I have stamped them, embossed them, die cut them, and now I'm just going to go in to the petals, and I'll do two colors. You can see already that it's starting to change. The more ink you put on it, the more the embossing comes through, okay? I'll put green on this side. So you want to always make sure you're putting enough ink, because otherwise you won't see the detail. Okay? Isn't that fun? Just a cute way to change things that they look different. And you can do a whole bunch of things with just embossing, clear embossing powder. Now for this one here that I'm actually going to make into my card front. Sorry, hit the wrong face by mistake. Oh, that's okay. No worries, Donna. I know you love me. It's all good. Okay, so for this one, I used the aged mahogany and peeled paint. Two of my favorite colors together. I love aged mahogany. So this one is exactly the same. I just cut it down so it's going to fit my card. All I wanted to do is start going in and rubbing on my color, and don't worry that it looks kind of funny at first. It's all good. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with some green. You want to make sure that you blend them together where you're putting your new colors so that it doesn't look like there's a stop line. Okay, and again, a lot of you have probably already done this. You might know about it, but I know there's a lot of you that don't know how to do this. And it's fun, you feel like you're coloring, but you're really not. Okay, and I don't go like super crazy perfect. I think I'm gonna stay true with these colors. Okay. And it's this easy. And I'm not rubbing off any of my embossing powder. I'm not rubbing so hard that it's going to take it off. Okay. And every one of these that you do will look different every time. And how cool is that? Okay. You could use a lot of different colors. You could use a couple colors. And it kind of looks, I don't know, it looks like you've slaved over this for hours and you haven't. Okay. So then just go over any spots where you have a little bit showing. You can go on top of the colors as well. So I feel like I have a lot of green right here, so I can go back in and add a little bit. I can also go in and ink my edges on this side so that now I've got a little bit more of the burgundy showing. Really focus on this corner, make it nice and deep. It's a lot of fun, eh? Kind of make it however you want. So look at that. Cool, right? Just with clear embossing powder. Totally makes things awesome. And whatever color of ink you have, it will become. So I'm going to color on the cream just so you can see the difference with the cream. And again, you want to go in with lots of colors. I find the more colors you put on, the bigger it looks, the brighter it looks, and you need a lot of ink because you want the ink to be absorbed into the cardstock, behind or below, however you want to say it, the embossing. Okay. So you want to deposit a lot of ink so that you can see it. I don't have enough brown on this corner, so I'm going to go back in and add. And you see, once I start adding more, it makes the embossing powder, the embossed area, much brighter. So every one of these that you do are going to be different, every single one, okay? And it doesn't matter if it's a script, if it's a word, doesn't matter. This one here, I did, this is like a fishing net kind of thing. So again, we're just gonna go in, and the more color that you put on, the better it is. And then if this was a stamp that had a coordinating die, then you could definitely die cut this out. And it's just, it turns out so beautiful and so easy to do. So I'm rubbing fairly hard, but not, probably by the end of this, my shoulder's gonna be sore. So depending on how you want to take that, it's hard to say how much pressure I'm putting on. But now you can really see the fishnet. Honeycomb pattern, yeah. It's beautiful, right? And then go in with some peeled paint. We could go in and just add a little bit here and there because it's going to suck in behind the cardstock. So you can do every single piece that is different, kind of gives a little bit of a watercolor look. You can do this and then stamp another sentiment, or, you know, put something on top of it. And now you've got a beautiful one-of-a-kind card base. Okay? So lastly, what I wanted to do is I wanted to actually show you how to do this. So it seems like everybody here understands the concept of embossing. But I'm going to walk you through my way, okay? And my way is not right, it's just my way. So you want to make sure that you have everything ready. You need Versamark ink pad. You need a stamping platform if you have one, if not, just a stamp block, doesn't matter. You need clear embossing powder. You need a heat gun, whether it's the heated tool or an actual embossing heat tool. The difference between them, I've said this before, this one actually blows hot air, and I can only get this close, okay? The heated tool does radiant heat, so it disperses heat lower and out, where this blows like a blow dryer, okay? Then the thing that everyone must have is an anti-static pad. So this is a little pad, and it's full of chalk. I doubt if you can see it, but you can see some of the powder coming up. You always want to put this down on top of your cardstock before you stamp. This ensures that none of the embossing powder is going to stick anywhere you don't want it to be. Okay, so it also creates anti-static. So there's no static being built up on your cardstock. I'm just going to move these out of the way. I guess we can use this. Where did that other little piece go? I had another little piece that had the pink. Do you remember I showed you the pink? Anyway, doesn't matter. I know it's here. It's fine. I'm going to show you anyway. So we're just going to use this stamp because I've got it here. Or you can do this one. Okay. So you're just going to take your cardstock. This is just Neenah cardstock. Secure it however you do, whether it's in a stamp, MISTI, whatever. I have the Tim platform right now. Okay, stamp goes down. I need to have more room. Okay, so you just want to rub this onto your cardstock. You can't see it. It's gone. Like there's nothing there. It's not going to leave a mark. Then you put your stamp down. So I'm going to show you two different ways that you're going to do this. To create a watermark that is just a watermark. I should actually do it on the purple. I'm going to do this just so that you can really see it on the purple. Okay, so we're going to get this where we want it. These magnets are strong. I'm going to use my little piece here. See, you can't see nothing. Lay this down in my center. Okay, close my platform. Now, for a watermark, all you're going to use is Versamark. So when you get your Versamark pad, it is not going to look like this. This is horrendous, horrendous. It is going to look like this, okay? So overuse and not doing the order of ink and embossing or Versamark the proper way is what has caused this. Try never to get your colored ink onto your pad. You're never going to get it off, okay? And it's a pain in the you-know-what. So your Versamark pad is going to come clear, and all we're going to do is we're just going to put it on to, and it's a sticky thing, and we're just going to put this on. Now, the other thing about Versamark is you can actually leave it on your stamps, and it offers a little bit of conditioner, like for our hair. So if I did not want to wipe this off, or if I forgot it, I'm not worried about it, okay? So you always want to be prepared. So I have a little tray. I have my clear embossing powder, okay? This is going to stay wet for quite a while. Now we're just going to press down. Because you're in a stamp platform, it isn't going to move on you. So if I don't feel I've got enough, I just go back, ink it up some more, close it again. Now you have to take it out of here. All you do is pour your clear embossing powder if you just want the watermark, okay, and I always use a lot. Pour it back in, tap off the extra because you don't want to waste it. So it looks like this, and it's a little cloudy, okay? Then you're going to take your heat tool, and I hope you can see the magic that happens. When it starts to heat and it gets hot, it turns into like water. It's very shiny, okay? If you can come down as close as you can. So you can see it starting to turn right now. Okay, and it is becoming the color of the cardstock, but a shade darker. And you do have to be careful if you're using this kind of a heated tool because it blows really hot air, and I've burnt myself so many times. Can you see that changing? Look at that. It's like it's creeping along. If you're not sure that it is actually all heated, if you turn it sideways and on an angle, you'll actually be able to see if there's any of the powder crystal left. You want to make sure it's all melted, and you want to stay about this far away. Okay? And this is very hot. So there's our finished product, and you can just do that just with heat embossing and the clear as well as your Versamark, okay? But now, what if I don't want it to be clear and I want it to be peacock feathers? The other good thing about this is that having, if you're working on, say, a layout or a card, and, you know, I was using these specific colors. Well, what if I wanted my embossing sentiment to be the exact same? I have the ability to do that because I'm using the ink that I used, okay? So this is a way to guarantee that if you're that matchy-matchy person, everything is gonna match. Your ink is gonna match everything. Somebody's laughing at me with my whole matchy-matchy, okay? So now here's where you need to listen, okay? This is important. This part's important. No, it's probably not. Yeah, no, it shouldn't take that long, Natalie. You might need a new one. I carry both this kind as well as the Tim Holtz Ranger Heat It tool. So it's just a personal preference. They're about the same price. I love both of them. This is my go-to for embossing, I think because it was my first one and it says embossing, and that means to me that I'm supposed to use it for that, which is probably just silly. Okay, so now I want to use these two together. Very important. You never want to stamp your stamp or ink your stamp. Let me start again. You never ever want to start by inking with color on your stamp and then putting your Versamark, because guess what's going to happen? All of that ink is now going to be on this pad, which is what has happened to mine. Okay, so you always, always, always want to put your Versamark down, then you want to put your color. Don't worry about the Versamark going into your ink pad. It is not going to hurt it. If anything, it's going to enhance it or protect it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our Chalk Buddy down. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to ink up our stamp with the Versamark, which is clear. It's a clear color. And there are little refills. Okay, so once you buy the one, you own it for life. Now we're going to go in with our color. And now we're going to color our stamp. Make sure we got lots on there. And my paper's not in the right place. Okay, and we're going to close it. Now, the good thing about the stamp platform, if I don't have a clear enough stamp the way that I like it, I can go back. I can add a little bit more because I still have Versamark on there. Push it down. So now I have Peacock embossing powder. So now I'm going to put my clear embossing powder on here. Okay. I always like to make sure that it's really full. I want to guarantee that all my spots are done. And I'm just going to fold it, try to get it back inside the jar. I'm going to knock off all my excess pieces. Okay. So now we have embossing powder on here. And all I've used is my Peacock Feather ink from... No, do it all at one time, Heather. Okay, so now you're going to see this is going to change. And now you would think that I owned Peacock Feather embossing powder, and I don't. So it doesn't matter how many ink pads you have that many ways to emboss. Okay. So it just takes a second. I've got a couple black spots in my embossing powder, probably from that foiling I did the other day. And then just have a look at it on an angle and you'll see if it's not shiny. If it's not shiny like water, then you know that it's not heated enough. And done. Okay? And now we have a beautiful sentiment that was now done in Peacock Feathers and clear embossing powder. So it will become whatever color you want. It's magic, I swear, it's magic. I love it. Now when you're using obviously an ink color, always clean off your stamp. I know some of us get a little lazy and we don't. Take the time, clean it off. Over time they will get so much ink built up on them that it's dried and they'll lose all the little detail. And I'm just using Kirkland baby wipe. That's all I ever clean my stamps with. Now if I wanted, I could just put some more Versamark on here and put it back in the package and I would be fine. I'm not worried that it's going to hurt it. It's going to actually condition it. So that's how you do clear embossing powder and heat resist, ink resist. Okay. So let me just get some of this stuff. Can I hand some of this to you so it's out of my way? Thank you. Okay, and then I need my, just bear with me for 1 sec, guys. Just gonna plug my glue gun in. Because I'm working with flowers, I always want my glue gun. I think I might be wound around down there. Maybe. This is a long lunch break you're on, love. All right, so as promised, need to get rid of this. Just tuning in, was helping granddaughter with a math project. Oh, I bet there's a lot of people that are doing that. And you had to make brownies because of the math? That's my kind of math. I never did math like that. That's cool. All right, so where's my pieces? Wasn't that one, was it? What's this one? Okay, so this one I did yesterday to test everything and make sure that it was gonna work. Okay, so I am going to gift this card as I do every demo. I used some double-sided foam tape. I love this little picker. This thing is just the bee's knees. Wow, I'm dating myself with that one. Holy. I know, I'm silly. The ladies love me because of it, right? I sure miss everyone. I sure wish that you guys were in here doing this with me. It would be so much nicer. This COVID thing has to end. I miss the contact with everybody. I miss hearing the stories. I just miss everything. Okay? So always with your foam tape, make sure you really burnish it down. Peel off your backing. Aw, thank you. I never, like I said the other day, and I always say this in my video for demos, I can never find a foam tape that is thick enough. Start the car, start the car. That's my favorite commercial in the whole wide world. That woman, you would have thought that she literally robbed a bank, and she's so prim and proper. I love it. That and the, I don't know if you guys remember the cow dairy commercial.
I think I love you. Moo, 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 moo.
Yeah, Gary can do it exactly. Do it a little louder.
I think I love you. Moo, 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 moo.
Do you remember that one? And the cow turns back and he looks at everyone. Oh my God, I love it. Anyway, sorry. All right, so we're just gonna make sure that this is as straight as possible. We're gonna put this down. Now, I had gone ahead and did a little arrangement. Okay, I gotta make sure my gun is hot enough. I'm just kind of making this on the fly. So I've got some roses left over from my stash. Have a little sentiment. So I thought I would do, I'm working upside down so it's easier for you guys. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of hot glue. Put it down where I want it. When you're doing a big leafy thing like this, make sure you let it lay the way it wants to lay. Otherwise it'll be cockeyed. I'm not sure you can say that on TV, but or on here, but that's the way it is. All right. So now it's just going to be a matter of playing, figuring out where I want everything. And again, I love the hot glue because now it's instantly set. I think I'm going to do my 3s. Okay, so we're just going to wiggle them, causes a little bit of suction. I did these roses a while ago. I can't remember the color. I don't think it's H Mahogany because it's a little too dark, but I did tip them with a bit of H Mahogany because they had been sitting for a while. So I just went in with my dauber, just inked up my edges a little bit. Just gave them a bit of more refreshment. Okay. The one thing I don't have. I always like to tuck my sentiment, but I always want my sentiment to move. I don't want it to be flat. I hate stickers. So just by shaping it a little bit, just kind of gives it that little bit of something, something. So I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I like where that is, and I know if I move it, it won't go back in the same place. Okay. And then whenever you want to create a little bubble like this, or a little bow, when you get your glue gun, just kind of push back a little bit so it stays lifted up. And then you can just start kind of adding a couple little flowers here and there. I don't know where I want them. And you're done in no time. Do you know what I mean? It's like one of these things that I have to kind of look at it from my angle here for a second. Put a little bit down here. Oops, steady. And put a little bit down here. Oops, sounds like the plow went by again. More shoveling. Okay. So there's our little card, our little demo card. Isn't that pretty? But wait, don't you hate all these things that are hanging? Can you see these strings from the glue gun? These drive me crazy. So for the ones that you can't pick off, because you have your heat tool out already, all you have to do is just use your embossing tool. It's going to get hot and it's going to melt all those strands of glue that are hanging, that are a pain. And now they're gone. Okay? So now we don't have any. All gone. So somebody's going to have this come to their house. Okay? So this is my little way to do embossing. You can create a watermark. You can do all kinds of different things. You can make have one clear embossing powder and have, I don't know, 20 different colors of ink. So I hope you guys had fun. It was fun for me. I'm going to get back crafting today. I've got some orders to pull and things like that. So yeah, it's a cute way to do some stuff with what you have. It's great. But before I go, I thought, as normal, we should have a quarantine 24-hour sale again. What? My husband, my financial guy's ready to kill me. Anyway, I don't care. I want you guys to be happy. So, from today at noon, which it might be noon now, I'm not sure, from Friday at noon until Saturday at noon, 24 hours, for every paper pack or pad, so whether it's in cellophane or whether it's just a pad like this, okay, you're going to get 10% off, okay? So it doesn't matter if it's the big pack or a small pad, you're going to get 10% off. So whether you own a bag or not, doesn't matter about that. Then you're also going to get 10 sheets of cardstock. If you purchase a 12 by 12, let me read it, he's got it wrote for me. Okay, so if you buy a 12 by 12 paper pack or pad, you're going to get 10% off, and I'm going to gift you 10 sheets of cardstock to match. Unless you say to me, I just want black or I just want white. Okay, so it'll be coordinating cardstock. If you buy, excuse me, an 8 by 8 or a 6 by 6, you will get 5 sheets of Bazzill cardstock to either match or your preference, okay? So as we've done in all of these sales, everything has to be paid for minimum by tomorrow at noon, okay? So you have all day today and tomorrow. It's in-store stock only. It's not special orders. It's, you know, nothing like that. It's just, I just thought of it today, and I said to Gary, let's have another sale. And he's like, well, what do you want to do? And I said, let's do paper packs. Everyone wants paper. And it's a great way to get 10% off and 10 sheets of coordinating cardstock for a 12 by 12. Okay? So that's what we're going to do for the next 24 hours. So please drive me crazy, run me off my feet, make me nuts, and buy all kinds of pretty paper. Okay? So have a great day, guys. I'm getting a little dry because I've been talking nonstop here. And we will announce the winner tomorrow at noon for the card. Okay? So hopefully one of you will win this pretty card. And I love doing these demos. I said to Gary, like, what are we going to do? He says, what do you like doing? I said, embossing powder. He says, let's do it. And I said, what am I going to do the next one? He says, I don't know. Why don't you ask people? So I'm asking you, what is it that you want to see? As long as it's not too messy, crazy. Like, I don't want to be on here for 4 hours. But something quick like this, and then something I can gift back after the end of the demo is perfect. So whether that's learning about a new trimmer, or I don't know. Have you ever set eyelets with a crocodile? Do you always wonder how that can be done? Do you know that there's a big bite as opposed to just the regular crocodile? Those kinds of things. So I'm going to do another one next week. I don't know what day yet, because Wednesday we have our card folio challenge. That's going to be on Wednesday. So I might do a Facebook Live, just a live on Tuesday. Then we have our demo on Wednesday, and then probably a demo next Friday. So get your thinking caps on and see. So be well, be safe, take care of one another. And if there's anything that we can do for you, we've been doing a lot of deliveries. Excuse me, if there's anything you need, send me a note, send me a message. Gary and I will drive it out to you. Okay? Take care.